Welcome to Half a Point, the podcast that saw Carlton break the streak and finally cover a game, and Collingwood drop two in a row, losing to Fremantle. We called them both here at Half a Point. This week is our round 20 best picks episode. We'll each be giving our five best picks against the spread. To help me break it down, I am joined by my co-host Carlton Superfan. Cast, mate, how are you feeling after the win?
Yeah, mate. Finally banked a win. So first time in like a month or so. So bit good,
Huge.
but I didn't even get to watch the game at the end of the day. So,
Oh
but
yes, that's right. We'll get into that as well, I guess. If you're new to the channel, leave a like on this video and subscribe. We're also active on TikTok, on X, and on Instagram. So give us a follow on those. And also a reminder to please gamble responsibly. All right, Cass, jump into round 19. Pretty good round for us, I'd say. Starting off with Essendon and GWS. GWS end up winning and covering just, as in it was what they won by 48. What was the line, like 44? I think we both leaned Essendon. I think I said if it went up to the 50s, I'd probably bet Essendon. I didn't end up checking what the line was before first bounce, but I think it was a good stay away from both of us. Like it was a coin flip game, could have gone either way. You feel like Essendon was the right side; they probably deserved the cover. Bit unlucky if you were on Essendon and didn't cover, but that's how it goes. Moving on to Brisbane Western Bulldogs. Um, Line was 11 and a half. They lose by 10, so Western Bulldogs cover. That's why the number's always so important. You always got to get the best of the number. Um, Look, you could probably say Western Bulldogs are lucky to cover that one because Brisbane probably should have put them away, but I actually don't care because the last time these two met, I was on the Dogs and they were up by 30 and didn't end up covering. I feel like I deserve a little bit of luck with this matchup, so I'm not going to apologize for that. Sometimes you got to get a little bit lucky. So, yeah, a little bit of fortune there, but Western Bulldogs are sort of the trend all game. They didn't really go away all game. So, I'd
yeah.
say, um, yeah, happy that I got the cover there. Hawthorn, Port Adelaide.
Yep. So we had Hawthorn come away with a 38-point win. I was on Port Adelaide at 29 and a half, and you just saw in that last quarter, they just threw it away. Port Adelaide, they just couldn't control the ball. And then Hawthorn were just able to kick goal after goal and just had complete possession of the ball. Dominant performance in that last quarter, and yeah, it didn't end up covering, which was unfortunate. I walked away with a lot of confidence, thinking that Port Adelaide would cover, but
Yeah.
wasn't meant to be. Yeah,
Yeah, pretty unlucky there. It was like, I think it was a tie game in like the third quarter. So pretty unlucky
yeah,
there in the wet as well, where it's hard to score. That's tough. That's how it goes sometimes. But Sydney, North Melbourne, I was on North Melbourne, plus 40. They ended up covering. It was a tough watch. Like you just thought at any moment Sydney could break away. They
yeah,
just couldn't put North Melbourne away, and North Melbourne just hung around. But I said last week, North Melbourne as road dogs against Adelaide, Port Adelaide, Fremantle, and now Sydney. They've covered all four times. So they don't win, but they do cover as big dogs on the road. So that's a trend to look out for. And then finally,
yeah,
Carlton
mate.
Melbourne. Before you break it down, please take us through your Saturday night.
I don't know. I don't remember much. Why? Did I do something?
I don't know. You tell me.
Oh, I just saw that. I don't know. It was a big night. I saw
Okay.
Carlton won the game.
Yep.
And yeah, it was happy days. Made the night a little bit better.
Yep.
But yeah. I don't know.
I'm
I don't know what you indicated. Did I
not
like call you
sure.
or
Okay,
something?
it looks like you don't remember. This guy gives me a call on Saturday night, and he's like, and we're talking about some other stuff, and then we're talking about the footy. I'm like, oh, it's great. I'm 3-0. You're 2-1. He's like, oh, no, screw that. Carlton in the eight. I was like, what? No. This guy was talking about Carlton making the eight after their one win. Yeah, okay. So it seems like you don't remember. It's pretty funny.
Oh, that's my bad, man.
That's crazy. But yeah, Carlton, big
Mathematically,
win.
we are a chance of the eight now.
I
So
don't know about that, man. But you called it. You actually called it perfect last week. Like you said, these games are always close. So I'm going to
yeah,
take the point. So that's a great call.
yeah,
Like the
exactly.
plus 10.5 was never really in doubt.
Yeah, it was a close game, pretty much most of
Mm,
it.
mm.
And then I think 2 points, 2 point margin. So still a lot of confidence there, like
Yeah,
it was going to cover. So yeah, it
yeah.
was a good pick there in the end. Next up, we had West Coast and Richmond. So we're both on Richmond here. At plus five and a half.
Yep.
Yeah, ended up blowing him out the water by 49 points. Really good performance, especially in that third quarter. They were just dominating every stoppage. They just had complete control of the ball. So yeah, good to see Richmond cover there away from home as well.
Yeah, we said last week, man, this Richmond team, they're pretty good, man.
Yeah.
And again, two bad teams jump on the dog. Cashes once again. So
Mhm.
just automatic winner there. Moving on to Geelong St Kilda, I feel like another great stay away from us. St Kilda end up covering. They only lose by 31. The line was 33 and a half, I believe. Again, coin flip game, could have gone either way. Yeah, Collingwood Fremantle, we called it here at half a point. Well, I did. You were on the Pies and I was on Freo. A classic trap once again. It was a bit concerning when Collingwood up by 20 odd in the last quarter, but
Mm.
I wasn't too concerned because you just knew with this game it was just going to be close. It was just one of those games where it was going to be back and forth. It was going to be close. When Fremantle absorbed all those Collingwood inside 50s in the third quarter, you knew that there was going to be a 5 to 10 minute patch in the fourth quarter where they had their turn. Like you
Yeah.
don't get that sustained run of dominance for a whole half there. So um, once they only gave up one goal there, I was pretty confident that like, okay, they should cover from here, end up winning outright. So that's why you get to jump on the money lines, man, because crazy things happen. I was by 1 point, so not gonna like go crazy on that, but yeah, plus 20 half, good pick. And then Adelaide, Gold Coast.
Yep. So mate, I was on Gold Coast at plus 16 and a half, and it did not look like it at all. There was not a single stage of that game where it looked like Gold Coast were going to cover. I forgot what the biggest margin was. I think it was around 60 points.
Yeah, it was dead.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it was game over pretty much from the first quarter, I reckon. Yeah, didn't have much hope after that. They just didn't look like they arrived to that game. So terrible pick from me. But yeah,
Yeah, classic
just
letdown spot. It's 2 weeks in a row you've doubted Adelaide Crows, and 2 weeks you've been
yeah.
burnt. So, bit of a lesson to learn there. But I had a great week again. I go 5-0 again, so back-to-back weeks, pretty unprecedented. Like when you go 5-0, like yep, there's a little bit of skill, but there's also a little bit of luck. When you go
Yeah.
5-0, you have to have luck. When you go 0-5, you're unlucky. So yeah, we say every week we're just going to go 3-2 every week. So if we get 3-2, we're happy. Anything more is great. You had another 2 and 3 weeks, so you go back to your
I'm
your
back.
normal
Back to my
ways.
roots.
So I'm now 53 and 42, 56% against the spread, and you're 46 and 49, just under 50%. So we say pros go 56%, so I'm right there. You just need a couple. You need a 10 on air run as well now, and
I
then you're
know,
right there
yeah.
as well. Dogs went 6 and 3 against the spread, so another good week for the dogs. A couple that were in the middle there, a couple coin flips, but 3 and 6 straight up as well. So another good result for the underdogs. Another good week if you're on the professional sides. Let's jump into round 20, man. Going to be a good round. Lots of rivalry games, but we're starting off with Hawthorn versus Carlton. Thursday night game at the MCG. Last time they played, Hawthorn were 16 and a half point favorites back in round two. End up winning and covering by 20. This time around, Hawthorn are 25 and a half point favorites. We're going with this one.
Look, start of the week, this game was a stay away for me, but I think some news has come to light, and I feel like it's a big emotional game for Carlton. We've got Doherty retiring, we've got Wiedering's 200s. So I feel like Carlton are just gonna have to come out firing here. I don't think they'll win this game. But I think there'll be a good chance of covering the line here. But yeah, the margin's at 25 and a half. So I think, yeah, Carlton at plus 25 and a half, it's a decent pick. And I think they should be able to get the job done for our big man, Doc.
So you did everything except pick them.
No, I picked him.
Oh, you picked him.
I just don't pick him to win.
Oh, okay. So you're going with
Yeah,
Carlton in the
yeah.
points.
Yeah,
Oh,
Carlton
okay.
on the points.
Okay. I thought you said you stayed away from it. Yeah. Give me Carlton plus 25 and a half. I think this is a huge danger game for the Hawks, man. I think they can genuinely lose this game. Like you said it perfectly. Big emotional game for this Carlton side. Doherty retiring. Yeah, you said Weeder's 200th. And there's no pressure on this Carlton side. Like back in round two, I think we're both on Carlton that game as well. There's a lot of pressure on them to bounce back. And then it sort of just spiraled from there. But now with this Hawthorn team, I don't know, man. I know they covered last week, but I feel like there's just something off with this Hawthorn team. They weren't the same team as last year. You're getting a number that is reflective of a top four team, and I don't think this Hawthorn team is a top four team. Well, as I said a few weeks ago, I feel like they could drop out of the eight. They could be that team that misses out on the finals this year. Huge danger game. Carlton playing freely. We saw them last week. Transitioned the ball really well. Um, yeah, I just feel like they're not playing with any pressure. Yep, they could not win here, but I feel like getting 4 goals is really good. A lot of money has been coming in on Carlton as well. This was at 30 earlier in the week, so almost a goal swing in Carlton's direction. So bit of money coming in, and I jump in it right now if you want to be on Carlton here. Absolutely love it. Moving on to Essendon versus the Western Bulldogs Friday night game at Marvel. Essendon, sorry, last time they played, Bulldogs were 24.5 point favorites. Ended up blowing them out by 91. Pretty funny to watch that one. This time around, Essendon are 52.5 point dogs. Stay away from me. I can't jump on this one. I know Bulldogs beat up on bad teams, but I don't know how many times they're going to cover against these bad teams as well. I feel like they're on a crazy run with covering against these bad teams. Would I be shocked if they cover this one? Absolutely not. But it's 52 points. It's so many points to lay here. Um, Essendon were a bit better last week. Like they couldn't convert the opportunities. Maybe if they did, they cover last week. I don't know. I just feel like it's too big of a number, so I'm staying away from. What do you think?
Yeah, same read on that one. Like, it's such a big line, and yeah, when you're just a team that just beats up on bad teams, which is what we've seen pretty much all year, it's hard to sort of back them like over and over and over. So yeah, stay away from me. Even though Essendon is pretty much beat up at this point, like they've got such a big injury list to key players. Still can't fully rely on Bulldogs to sort of cover that line. So yeah, stay away from me here.
Yeah, I agree. Moving on to the Giants versus Sydney, Battle of the Bridge. Friday night game as well, at NG. Last time they played, the Giants were 9.5 point favorites at the SCG, and Sydney ended up winning outright by 14 points. This time around, the Giants are 10.5 point favorites. Where are you going with this one?
Yeah, I think this game's going to be very similar to the Carlton Melbourne game. So for that, I'm going with Sydney at plus 10.5.
Wow.
Yeah, I feel like it's just going to be a very close game, very similar to game to how the Carlton Melbourne game went. And yeah, I think Sydney, they're not necessarily a bad team at the moment. Like they are doing pretty well. And then you look at GWS on the other hand, and they you sort of seem you can sort of see them struggle a little bit here or there. But yeah, give me Sydney for this one.
Yeah, I'd stay away from me. I really want to be on the Giants here. Um, I don't know. I just feel like the Giants, it was -8.5 early in the week. I jumped on that one. So line's been going in the Giants' direction, but I've been doing this long enough to know that the Giants are a huge trap here, right? So I don't know, it's just a fishy number. I know the Sydney team, I know they're sort of rejuvenated from where they were earlier on in the season, but I feel like this Giants team is the team that's the third contender. I feel like it's Collingwood, Brisbane, and the Giants here. So I really like the Giants' futures. So I feel like this is a good number to lay against Sydney, who haven't been that impressive. I mean, they were catching the same number at home, and now they're catching the same number on the road against the Giants team, who are better. They haven't been great at NG this year, so fair enough there. But I don't know. It's a fishy number, so I'm staying away from it. I've learned my lessons, but I'd lean the Giants here. Yeah, cautiously. Mate, covering all these spreads makes me kind of hungry.
Hmm. Should we order something from the Cake Sorority?
Ah, yes, the cake sorority, where every cake is a slice of sisterhood or brotherhood.
Whether you're celebrating a birthday, anniversary, or a glorious cover, the Cake Sorority has a perfect treat for every occasion.
Shoot them a message on Insta at the cake sorority and use the code half a point for 10% off your next order.
That's code half a point for 10% off your next order. Your spread is covered with the Cake Sorority.
Moving on to Gold Coast versus Brisbane. Saturday twilight game at People's First. Last time they played Brisbane were 10.5 point favorites and ended up winning by 17. I think we are both on Gold Coast that game. Um, They only won by 17, but you would think it was a bigger margin if you actually watched the game. Like it felt bigger. This time around, Gold Coast are 8.5 point dogs. Give me Gold Coast plus 8.5, and give me Gold Coast to win outright here. Oh man, I know this is so scary, man. Like this Gold Coast side, always just get beat up by Brisbane, and Brisbane against other good teams like they bring it, they bring the effort, they bring the intensity. Like we saw with Western Bulldogs last week, they were ferocious. And they beat Hawthorn. They've were close against Adelaide. So against other good teams, they really bring it. So and they always beat up on the Suns. So I know I know I'm going with Gold Coast though. I just feel like it's big boy month, isn't it? So like there's going to be concerted effort here. I feel like history doesn't repeat itself this time round. Like we saw them beat Collingwood just a couple of weeks ago, and just because they laid an egg last week, everyone sort of jumped off them now. I feel like now is a perfect buy low spot for this Gold Coast side. Hitting a great number at plus 8.5. This should be under a goal really at home with how good this Gold Coast team is. It is another test for them. I say they win the game outright. I feel like they pass the test. Even if they don't, I expect them to keep it within a goal at least. But yeah, would I be surprised if they disappoint me? Absolutely not. But yeah, give me Gold Coast and the points. What do you think?
Yeah, read it perfectly, mate. I reckon Gold Coast plus 8.5, and I think they'll come away with a win here as well. It's a good spot for them. I think they need to bounce back from last week's performance. Like that was so hard to watch, especially if you're on Gold Coast like me. So yeah, I think it's a definite bounce back spot for Gold Coast here, and then Brisbane, you can maybe expect them to fade a little bit after last week's performance, where they just got the win there. So yeah, I like the look of Gold Coast, but yeah, you can sort of see where they can sort of let you down here, in this spot. So. Yeah, we'll see how we go, but I like the look of Gold Coast here.
Yeah, I feel like if they don't cover this one, I'm never going to jump on Gold Coast versus Brisbane again.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Moving on to Fremantle versus West Coast Saturday. Twilight game at Optus as well. Last time they played Fremantle were 27.5 point favorites, ended up winning by 38. This time around, Fremantle are 50.5 point favorites. We going with this one?
Stay away from me. I feel like Freo is really good right now, but also in a game like this, it's sort of hard to read how the game's going to pan out. So, yeah, it's hard to rely on West Coast to cover as a dog as well, especially when they've been playing at Optus Stadium. So yeah, just to stay away from me. But if I had to go with the team, I'd probably lean West Coast, but zero confidence behind that. What about you?
One of the easiest picks of the week. Give me West Coast plus 50.5. Absolute bottom of the barrel marker for this West Coast side. Like catching 50 points now against crosstown rival. They just got blown out by Richmond at home. Like it doesn't. I don't know if you saw the interview with all the West Coast fans outside the game after that Richmond game, but this is about as bottom of the market as it gets for this West Coast side. Fremantle, they just beat Collingwood on the road, one of their biggest wins of the last decade. We saw how Gold Coast did the week after they beat Collingwood in a close one. Fremantle in the exact same spot. Now, it would be just the funniest thing if Fremantle beat Collingwood on the road and then come home and lose to West Coast. I just think it would be the most Fremantle thing ever. I'm gonna throw a little bit on the West Coast money line just because crazy things happen here. Um, yeah, do I feel like they keep it within 50 points? I definitely do. Like it's just opposite ends of the market here. So yeah, 50 points in a crosstown rivalry derby. Yeah, I feel like it's an easy pick. Yeah, give me West Coast and the points here. Moving on to North Melbourne versus Geelong, Saturday night game at Marvel. Last time they played Geelong were 23.5 point favorites down in down in Blunston, and ended up winning by 40. Um, this time around, North Melbourne are 40.5 point dogs. Stay away from me this one. I wanted to be on North Melbourne, but you see this North Melbourne team, when we sort of expect them to cover, and it's a good spot for them, they don't really cover. I feel like this is a good spot for this North Melbourne side, coming off a string of losses, and this Geelong side who feel like they should just need to sleepwalk into this game, get the W, get out of here. Um, 40 points, I don't know, it's not a great number to if you're on North Melbourne, like I'd want a few more points maybe if I was to jump on them, but Yeah, I'm not going to lay 40 points with Geelong at Marvel. So stay away from me. What do you think?
Yeah, stay away from me as well. I think it's just two lines that you sort of can't really trust. We've seen North Melbourne sort of cover these lines, but we've also seen them just absolutely throw it away. And like you said, it does seem like a game where Geelong just want to get a win. Get the 4 points and walk away from that one. Pretty satisfied. So yeah, stay away from me here. But if I had to jump on a team, probably North Melbourne plus 40.5. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I agree. Moving on to Adelaide versus Port Adelaide, the showdown. Saturday night game at the Adelaide Oval. Last time they played Adelaide were 9.5 point favorites. Port Adelaide ended up winning by 5. I think we're both on Port that game and think they just covered a really close one. This time around, Adelaide are 29.5 point favorites. We're going with this one.
I'm doing it again, mate. I'm fading Adelaide here.
Oh my
Give
God, third week
give
in a
me
row.
give me Port Adelaide plus 29.5. Look, I just think it because of it's the showdown. I think it'll be a good game. And maybe not necessarily close. I don't think Port Adelaide would be there to win it, but I think that the opportunity is there for them to backdoor and cover the line here. So yeah, that's why I'm going with this team, with this line here. So yeah, Port Adelaide plus 29.5.
Oh, completely agree, Matt. Give me Port Adelaide plus 29.5. Mate, this is a Ken game here. This is a
Yeah.
classic Ken game. End of the season, like there's not going to be too many more meaningful games. Like you can see, Ken's completely checked out. It's really funny, actually. I'd
Mhm.
actually tune it. I hate coach press conferences, but if I was to tune into any, it'd be Ken's. He's clearly just protecting David Carr. But yeah, with this game, it's a showdown. Obviously, we expect it to be close. Port Adelaide didn't cover last week. Adelaide coming off two big wins, so getting a really good number here. I think there's a bit of weather about as well, so hopefully it's low scoring and yeah, that suits the underdog usually. And yeah, it's just a classic Ken game. I'm gonna jump on some money line as well here. Like again, crazy things happen in these showdowns. I feel like it could be one of those rounds where we see a bunch of crazy upsets. But yeah, it's a really big number. This Adelaide team, everyone's sort of there's starting to be a lot of discussion about Adelaide sort of to win the premiership, and they're locked to be in the grand final and things like that. So I feel like this Adelaide, the market value in Adelaide is getting a bit too high for my liking. I've jumped on the last 2 weeks. Now it's the perfect time to sell on this Adelaide team. So yeah, give me Port Adelaide plus 29.5 here. Moving on to Richmond versus Collingwood. Sunday 2:10 game at MCG, weird time. Last time I played Collingwood with 26.5 point favorites. End up winning by 26, so the Tigers covered by half a point. This time around, Richmond are 45.5 point dogs. Stay away from me. I really wanted to be on Richmond here, though, but I wasn't going to test my luck. I was on Richmond the last 2 weeks, and I faded Collingwood the last 2 weeks. So I feel like I've had my fair share of luck with these two sides. Yeah, with this Collingwood side, man, like you could expect them to bounce back and really pile on here against Richmond, and that's entirely possible. But again, with this Richmond side, I feel like they're a lot better than what people perceive. They're not really getting a lot of respect. 45.5 is the line for a bad team. I don't think they're that bad, but yeah, we have seen them get blown out within in the last before the last 2 weeks. They did get blown out quite a few weeks in a row. So yeah, fair enough if you go with Collingwood. But I lean Richmond here, but I'm staying away from the contest. What do you think?
Yeah, stay away from me as well. I think it's Richmond have the capacity to sort of keep this somewhat close, maybe in like the 20s, but also, yeah, Collingwood sort of need to bounce back from the last 2 weeks as well. They might just take out all their anger on the on a bad team here and, win by like 60 odd as well. So
Hmm.
it's a hard read on this one. So yeah, staying away, but yeah, I like the look of Richmond plus 45.5.
Yeah, big number. Moving on to St Kilda versus Melbourne Sunday afternoon game at Marvel. Last time they played, Melbourne were 12.5 point favorites. And St Kilda ended up winning by 28. I think we are both on St Kilda that game. Um, this time around, St Kilda are 2.5 point dogs. Where are you going with this one?
Give me St. Kilda plus 2.5, and I think they'll get the win here as well. Yeah, look, I think it's just going to be a similar story to last time they played. I feel like St Kilda towards the end of the year, usually that's when they bank quite a few more wins. Um, sort of like just what we've seen previously, and they like to disrupt a few people's seasons. So yeah, I'm not surprised if they win here, but and also it is a bit of a letdown spot as well. I feel like Melbourne might just want to bounce back from last week's performance as well.
Give me Melbourne -2.5 here. So another clash here. I think I'm 3-0 in the last few clashes.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, this one's a fishy one because I feel like I'm playing the favorite here, whereas you it's you falling into the trap this time. It might be me. But I feel like with this Melbourne side, I feel like it's a great number. Fading this St Kilda side. We said at the start of the year you want to jump on St Kilda as dogs. They just haven't been great this year as underdogs. And yeah, this is just a classic Ross Lyon spot. But again, we see this year they just haven't been covering in these spots all year round. I feel like this Melbourne side is a lot better than what their record suggests. They've been on the bad end of a couple of results, so they could be a lot higher on the ladder, if I'm being honest. But yeah, it's the kicking in front of goal which hurt them a few months ago, and it hurt them the last time they played as well. I feel like Melbourne dominated the game last time these two played, but then St Kilda were just able to get them off turnover and score as well quite heavily. That was at in Alice Springs, so smaller ground. This time round, it's in Marvel. Getting a better number here with this Melbourne side. Cozzy was really bad that last time. He's in really good form right now. So yeah, I'm just backing this Melbourne team to bounce back. I feel like St Kilda might be a little bit of a public dog. So yeah, give me
Yeah.
Melbourne -2.5, which I feel like is a really good number. All right, that wraps up our round 20 picks. Run us through your five costs.
All right. So I've got Carlton plus 25.5, Sydney plus 10.5, Gold Coast plus 8.5, Port Adelaide plus 29.5, and St Kilda plus 2.5. So five dogs. I didn't even realize actually.
Five dogs. So
There you go.
I've gone with Carlton +25.5 as well. Brisbane +8.5 as well. West Coast +50.5. Port Adelaide +29.5, just like you. And Melbourne -2.5. So I snuck in one favorite there, which is Melbourne. So we're
Yeah.
clashing on that one. So that'll be interesting to see. It's good to get once again, like 3 weeks in a row we're clashing. We usually don't clash heaps. So it's good, I guess, for the show. Yeah, it'll be a really interesting week with all these rivalry games. But any closing thoughts before we wrap up today's show?
Well, let's hope Carlton can get a win for Doc, man. It'll be good. It'll be a good way to send him off.
I feel like, oh man, I feel like it's going to be a good watch. I hope Carlton can, obviously, I'm for the contest, but it'll be good to see them knock off the Hawks. I feel the Hawks,
Yeah.
some of the Hawks fans are a little bit
Bit of ego
insufferable.
about him as
I
well, yeah.
know, man. Relax. You had like one good year, and relax. You're not a premiership team yet. But yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like I'd love it if they humbled them. But yeah, nonetheless, it'll be a great week of footy. As a reminder, please leave a like on this video and subscribe. And until next time, see you later.